Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Let me ask you a question. How do you think Felix Odiwuor, aka Jalang'o, feels wherever he is? Because Jalang'o was invited in State House. Maybe innocently he did not know what was happening, or he knew because maybe he had been informed. But that particular meeting has resulted into very many things, to an extent that a few days ago, Jalang'o and his groups, now labeled rebel groups in the ODM, have been expelled from the party. And I'm sure that maybe wherever he is cursing that particular day when he set foot in State House and had some nice photos between Rigathi Gachagua and William Samoei Ruto. Raila and Omondi seems to be so much serious about this issue, because just today, none other than Jalang'o himself shared a video of Raila and Omondi meeting with Eric Omondi, the comedian. In that video, Eric Omondi seems to be receiving Raila in some meeting point. It seems like it is a hotel. Then they have a moment of chatting, maybe unaendeleaje, and then they walk softly. Eric Omondi is looking directly into Raila's face as a son or a grandson receiving some advice from a grandfather. And then they sit in a hotel, and while there, Eric Omondi is now listening as Raila talks and demonstrating using his hands. This is a video that was shared by Jalang'o himself. And Eric Omondi is listening very keenly. And then they sit there. Raila and Omondi seems to be talking to him, and Eric Omondi is shying, looking down and up, and is laughing. And there are some moments of what I call the very jovial there. And you see Omondi there is laughing heartily, seeing that Raila has cracked a joke there. And so this video has really elicited a lot of reaction. It was actually shared by Omondi himself on his Twitter handle. And then Jalang'o shared it. And it makes me feel that Jalang'o is following closely what is happening. Now, a few months ago, in fact it was the 19th of August, Eric Omondi also met Mama Ida Odinga. And he praised Mama Ida, saying, "Thank you, Mama, for the invitation. I had a motherly wisdom," some kind of that nature. Then yesterday, after meeting Raila and Omondi, Eric Omondi also went on this Twitter handle and talked about how he spent some time with Raila and Omondi, and he was talking of something to do with there is hope, the future is bright, something of that kind. And this video is being discussed, and of course, rightly so, this video must be discussed. If you ask me, ladies and gentlemen, this is about 2027, because Raila does not want to leave any stone unturned. As William Ruto is busy preparing for 2027, so is Raila. And not just 2027, it is about the Nairobi politics. Not just Nairobi politics alone. It is building the future of our election, the future of our politics, around youthful leaders. It is not just building the future politics around youthful leaders. It is about Langata constituency. And why do I believe it is about Langata constituency? You see, Raila has got his antennas outside there, and he has listened to what people are saying. People started long time ago inviting Eric Omondi to come to the ODM so that he can contest for the Langata constituency member of parliament. That seat, according to ODM followers, is vacant. And that is how funny our politics is. Jalang'o is still there, but they were saying that seat is vacant. Do you think Eric Omondi is the rightful person to inherit that constituency? And before we answer that question, ladies and gentlemen, Langata is very close to Raila's heart, because that is where Raila started his politics. For a very long time, Raila was a member of parliament of Langata. And I remember back then when we were very young and living in the rural suburbs of Shago, we started following politics, and I remember our parents were very happy when Raila defeated Dr. Liki. And we used to sing Raila Ameshinda Dr. Liki, and we were singing in mother tongue. It is something that started long time ago. And of course things have changed with the political landscape also changing, and that constituency was divided. So we have Langata and Kibra. And Raila would always want to clinch both the two constituencies, because it is just like they are twin constituencies. And it is so close. There was a time, I think he blundered, and it went to the Jubilee or UDA before Jalang'o came over. And the difference between Jalang'o and Ezekiel's Gay, I'm forgetting the name, the immediate former member of parliament of Langata, the difference was only 2,000 votes if you check from your records. And so Raila has begun preparing for it, and it is very close to him. Why would Eric Omondi be the right person to inherit that constituency? And I'll tell you that I've got only 3 points on this. One, Eric Omondi is a youthful leader, just like Jalang'o himself. And if you look at the politics around Nairobi, William Ruto settled on Sakaja as a young man because he wanted to build his politics around a youthful leadership, trying to show people that Raila was now tired and was to go home. And if you look what has been happening with Raila, they made changes, and people like Hamisi, people like Simba Arati were given portfolios telling you that Raila is making sure that in any case they decide to rest from politics or take up a sabbatical leave, then there is continuity in that part. And this will now put to rest the allegations that Raila does not want to hand over. If you look at what Raila is doing, he's trying to nurture young people. Look at Babu Owino, a very young man. And there are discussions that maybe Raila should now groom someone. It's not a matter of grooming someone. It is about giving, opportunities to young people like he's doing. So Eric Omondi is a young man, just like Jalang'o was. But then it is the courage that Eric Omondi has that has made him endear himself to the people of Kenya. When Raila Odinga led a fierce demonstration, some fierce demonstrations in Kenya, when people were being butchered and killed and all that, Eric Omondi was also doing the same on this side, and he has faced the brutal force of the police, tear gas and everything, leading, rebellion against bad leadership and high taxes. And I think they seem to be championing for the same cause, and this has made Raila to like him. Because Azimio fraternity would always want someone who is very courageous, who can face the cruel hand of the government. When William Ruto proposed taxes to content creators, some heavy taxes, Eric Omondi went to the streets and he really lamented, telling William Ruto, these are young people who are just beginning to establish themselves, and you want to tax them. And so this has really endeared him to the people and to Raila Odinga, and it makes Raila remembers his days when he was young. And Raila loves people who are very courageous. So that courage has endeared him. Eric Omondi has got a support base for himself, because if you remember, Jalang'o was a comedian, and that is where he built his support base. People loved him for that. He worked in the media and people used to follow him there. Radio Maisha, he was in Keys and all that, and he struggled all the way to where he is. Ameribu to within one day of meeting William Ruto. Eric Omondi is also a comedian. He has built his support base, even though when you have a support base as a comedian, it cannot be equated to political support base. For Eric Omondi, unlike Jalang'o, he has now gone beyond comedy, and he has demonstrated beyond reasonable doubt that he can venture into politics, because politics is about fighting for your people, and that is one thing that he has. Jalang'o used to help people. He was very philanthropic, and so is Eric Omondi. I remember people who were beaten during the demonstrations. Sometimes Eric Omondi went there to help them, finding a new home for them, such kind of things. And with this, Raila knows that selling Eric Omondi to the people will not be an uphill task. It will be a walk in the park, because already people are looking for Eric Omondi, people are yearning for his leadership. My only problem, will he stand strong? Because there is money from the UDA. William Ruto tries to buy each and every person who will listen to him. And with that, I think Eric Omondi has made some money for himself, so that if he's not very, money hungry, then he can sustain all the attempts to buy him. But one thing that I know also pleases Raila Amolo Odinga is the fact that whenever you try to associate yourself with Raila Amolo Odinga, then you will be intimidated. If you are a person who has risen to the level where they can find some corruption cases, they will open them for you. But if you don't have corrupt cases, like I think Eric Omondi does not have, because he has never worked in any as a civil servant or in any company that you can accuse him, they will now try to intimidate him. And because Eric Omondi has been in the streets and he has been arrested, he can at least withstand and endure some of this intimidation. And I think this meeting with Raila Amolo Odinga was to encourage Eric that we want to give you a ticket. We want you to go and try Langata. We've seen your courage, your charisma, your popularity, and we want you to be there. I don't know what to think, but this is what is happening. And for Jalang'o to share this on his, Jalang'o TV, it tells me that he's following very closely, and wherever he is, I think he feels like a deposed king, because that seat will automatically go to someone else, and I think it is Eric Omondi.